Welcome to Eerie Bites of History, your daily serving of strange bites of the past. Today we have an elevator fall, a fingerprint unlocks the future, and the First World War, all of which happened on July 28th. Let's begin. On July 28, 1945, a thick morning fog blanketed New York City. Visibility was nearly zero, and in the confusion, a U.S. Army B-25 Mitchell bomber flying a routine transport mission lost its bearings. At 9:40 a.m., it slammed directly into the north side of the Empire State Building, crashing into the 79th floor at over 200 miles per hour. The explosion rocked the skyscraper, tearing a gaping hole in its structure. Office workers were instantly killed, flames burst through the building's core, and debris rained down onto Fifth Avenue. But amidst the smoke and chaos emerged one of the strangest and the most miraculous survival stories in modern history. Betty Lou Oliver, a 20-year-old elevator operator, was working in the building that day. The crash severely injured her and snapped the elevator cables beneath her feet. Then the unthinkable happened. The elevator she was in plummeted 75 stories, nearly 1,000 feet. But Betty survived. Her fall is still the longest survived elevator descent on record. Experts say the coiled elevator cables at the bottom cushioned the impact in a 1 in a billion chance, but others aren't so sure. Some believe something else protected her, whether it divine intervention, guardian spirits, or fate itself stepping in. To this day, her survival is considered one of the greatest unexplained anomaly in urban history. In a building scarred by fire, struck by war, and touched by death, Betty Lou walked away from the impossible. On July 28, 1858, in the remote Indian town of Jingapore, a British civil servant named Sir William Herschel made the decision that would change the course of criminal investigations forever, though at the time he had no idea. While preparing a legal contract with a local man named Ragadar Khani, Herschel feared the agreement might be later declined or challenged, so as an extra precaution, he asked him to press his handprint onto the document. Not just his signature, but a physical imprint of his fingers and palm. It wasn't science yet, it wasn't even policy, but it worked. They honored the contract, and Herschel became fascinated. Over the next several years, he continued to collect and study prints, noticing something curious. No two were ever alike. Even the same person's prints remain unchanged over time. What began as a simple deterrent against fraud slowly evolved into the birth of forensic identification. Decades before fingerprints were even used in criminal courts, Herschel had unknowingly opened the door into a future where invisible details could expose lies, identify killers, and solve mysteries long gone cold. One small act meant only to protect a single deal would ripple through time and shape the very foundation of the modern justice system. Sometimes it's the quietest moments in history that echo the loudest through time. On July 28, 1914, a single declaration of war set in motion one of the deadliest and most catastrophic events in human history. Austria-Hungary, outraged over the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand just a month prior, formally declared war on Serbia. At first glance, it seemed like a regional conflict, an isolated response to political violence. But beneath the surface, a tangled web of alliances, tensions, and secret treaties began to unravel. Within days, what should have been a brief Balkan scrimmage ignited into a chain reaction. Germany sided with Austria-Hungary, Russia mobilized to protect Serbia, France joined in, then Britain. Eventually, the entire world was drawn into a war so brutal, it redefined the very concept of modern warfare. Trenches, mustard gas, machine guns. The technology of death had evolved, but diplomacy had not. It all had started with one bullet. A lone teenage assassin fired the shot that killed the Archduke. No one at the time could have imagined that this act would lead to over 20 million deaths and an entire generation lost to the mud and the madness of war. A single moment that spiraled into a global nightmare. Like your history snack-sized? Drop us a comment with your favorite bite and subscribe. Join us daily for your eerie dose of the past.